Are we live? Director, that's not real? No? Oh, we are? Oh, we're live! Oh, okay. Sounds good. We're live, everybody. Back to you. We're scheduling these normally again. We're back on Mondays. Been a bit busy. Have not been on track. My apologies. Not the most professional thing I've ever done. My apologies. Take the blame for that one. Wholeheartedly, 100%. I know nobody listens to these, but hey, it's like a personal connection, and I just got to do it, and I got to do it with pride, man. I'm sorry that these are late. That's all I got to say about that, because you want to know why? Because we're back on schedule, and so that's just what you got to do. Now, as soon as you get back on schedule, you apologize for being off schedule. That's not my password. What? Hang on. I have not used this computer in a minute, or I haven't used it all week. Kind of forget the password sometimes. But luckily, we pull up right to MMA Junkie. That's where we're going to start at. That's where we're going to be at today. So I'm glad that it kept my ideas going from Saturday. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys had a great old weekend. I'll talk to you guys Saturday afternoon. I think that video got uploaded, around like 5 o'clock Saturday, literally right before the fights. I think like 5 people watched it before the fights. Now it's up to like 60 views, which makes no sense to me, but I hate when that happens. But what do I know? I don't know anything for a reason. Not the smartest man. But regardless, hope everybody had a great old weekend. Hope everybody had a great start to the week today on this beautiful Monday. Everybody got up for work on time. Got their early morning coffee. One thing about coffee and me is me and coffee don't get along because if you haven't realized by listening to these, if you're new to the Underground 4, Underground E, you probably haven't. But if you know me, personal level, you know that I'm how can I put this? Kind of cracked out 24/7. So me and coffee, man, it just ain't a big deal. I'm talking quite fast right now. Had a Red Bull today. Have not had caffeine in 9 days. I'm on like a cleanse right now. Haven't had Pop or Taco Bell in 9 days. Starting to feel the withdrawals. Have not, and it sucks because right now at Taco Bell the grilled cheese burrito's back. I mean, maybe it's gone now. I haven't been there in 9 days, but that's that. I'm getting like withdrawals. Like I'm starting to shake at night or something. Like I'm like, oh, it's grilled cheese burrito, please. And then and I was never a big pop drinker until I got my car, so this one's a lot easier. But I did have a Red Bull today, which it's not pop, so like it technically counts. But no, we're just working on it, man. If anybody on the Alva baseball teams here, or if you're listening to this, man, we just gotta get built, baby. We just gotta look good. Put into your body how you want to work, man. I don't know if that made any sense, but if it did, then we're gonna look good. Roll comments, baby. But let's just get into it, man. It was this past weekend. Did not get to watch every single fight. I got off work at 11:15. So I saw the co-main event and the main event for sure. I watched went on YouTube before it got taken down and watched the Holland Jacaré fight after the fact. Heard Mackenzie Dern broke her nose. Saw the highlights. And what started off the card? Oh, and I did watch the Ciro Gane Junior Dos Santos fight. Shout out to Illegal Streams, and then watched the prelims on the TV at work. So we got the gist of the card. Once again, Dana White, if you're listening to this, sorry for illegally streaming that card. I wasn't gonna pay $70 to watch 2 fights, man. I was busy. Homie was busy, so that's just what we gotta do. But let's just get right into it, man. This card provided, there was a lot of things about this card that it was like, that it was, in my opinion, this was one of the better cards they've put out in more recent times. If we're talking the year, no. Talking about past 2-3 months, this is probably one of the best pay-per-views. We obviously had, Justin Gaethje Khabib, and then, in between that card, there's a fight night in this card. I feel like there's a lot of, just rough cards. Like, what was that 2 weeks ago, we had Anthony Smith and, what's that dude's name? Drawing a blank on the dude's name. That's how you know that it wasn't the best card. I feel like there's a couple bad cards in a row. A couple, not really high-level, super fun cards. We had Vittoria Hermanson. The card besides that fight was eh. I feel like this really, really got back into it and really, settled us back into, being used to these type of fights. And boy, did the UFC deliver. We started off the day, watched this fight. Chase Hooper just gets dominated by Peter Bear. People don't know, Chase Hooper's 21 years old. He was born in 1999, and he's 2-1 in the UFC? 2-1 in the UFC. This dude's, 2.5 years older than me, and he's getting sub wins in the UFC over grown men. And I'm here talking about it. So 3 years or younger, I'm here talking. 2.5 years younger, I'm here talking about it. Shout out to Chase Hooper, but Dana White did say in his post-fight press conference, Dana White did say that Chase Hooper in his first fight went out there, got pieced up a little bit, pulled off a sub, got the win, moved him up in the world to Alex Caceres, 30-fight vet, made no sense, absolutely pieced up, goes out here, gets absolutely pieced up, pulls off a submission with 2 minutes left in the round. I mean, yes, obviously, it's tough to call, but that can't happen. Sure, you're 2-1 in the UFC, but you haven't looked good in any of them. Either of those wins, you have not looked good. I hope that they don't cut him. Don't cut the kid. The dude, he knows what he's doing. He's animal on the ground. I think he trains with Sean O'Malley. And for those that don't know, Sean O'Malley is a complete dog on the ground. Striking's high level. Ground game's high level. Dude's jiu-jitsu's insane. Can't wait to see him back. But yeah, Dana White said that, maybe we should, let him chill out, build him up. Like, no, let the dude work. Dude's 2-1 in the UFC. He's winning fights. No, back in the day when Silva fought Chael Sonnen and got pieced up for 20 minutes, pulls off a sub, we didn't take his belt. We gave him the belt. He won. Won the fight, man. Won the fight. It's garbage. Don't say that. Shout out to Chase Hooper getting done. Next week, Teach Torres beat Sam Hughes. Teach Torres looked good. I think she was like a minus 650 dog. I remember seeing that, and I was like, who's she even fighting? And then I saw the odds on the TV. I was like, oh, okay. Sounds about right. Teach Torres, she's what, number 10? If you're number 10 in that division, you're 2 wins away from a title shot. She'll get a bigger name next fight, and then who knows what she'll do next. She's an animal. Not somebody you want to mess with in that division. Fight that disappointed me. Billy Quarantillo versus Gavin Tucker. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. We really want to see my boy Billy Q come out with the win. Big fan of Gavin Tucker. Big fan of Billy Q. I just like Billy Q just because I like saying it like that. And his mustache is pretty sick. Came with the loss. Tough loss. Fight that I did not see going this way. Renato Moicano and Rafael Fiziev. That dude has some hype behind him going into 2021. Watch out for this dude. Watch out. This was a perfect matchmaking because you got Moicano, who a lot of people know. I was one of them. No, I thought the name would just I thought that his name was gonna win him this fight, and he just went out there, knocked him out. I heard some people saying it's bad stoppage. It was not bad stoppage, not at all. No way. But for him to knock out Renato Moicano in the first round, that sends a message to everybody in that division. Sends a message to everybody in the UFC. Period. This dude's here. Hype is real. Watch out for that dude in 2021. Next fight he gets, top 15 dude, top 10, maybe top 10, lower top 10. Match him up with Danny Ige, maybe. Jeez, man. Jeez. I think he's a featherweight. If he's not, then I just look like a fool. But I think he is. If he's not, I'm sorry. And then the people's main event, man. The nicest dude, the coolest dude. SoCal represent. What's up? Cub Swanson out here getting wins over Daniel Pineda. Did not expect him to win. I was rooting hard for him, man. Rooting hard for Killer Cub Swanson out there, baby. Rooting hard for him. And even with all my cheering, I was like, I don't know about this. Pineda's a tough fight. And it didn't help that I watched Below the Belt, and my hero of the fight game, my boy B Shab, said that this is a bad matchup for Cubs. So I'm like, if the genius said that it's a bad matchup, it's a bad matchup. Cub looked good, man. Cub looked good. Good. I think that's 2 wins in a row. He's one of those dudes who, he's a legend, and UFC's paying him a lot of money. And Dana White said they're doing cuts or whatever. He was one of those people who, a lot of people thought of, okay, he's fighting this weekend. If he loses this fight, he could potentially be cut. And so the entire time watching that fight, I'm like, oh my God, dude, because he's older, he has nothing left to prove in his career. Excuse me. If he loses this fight, and he's cut, I think he's retired. I don't see him fighting anywhere else. So I do not want to see him lose this fight. Gets a knockout. Cub Swanson gets a knockout win over Daniel Pineda, and it's just one of those feel-good moments. It's one of those moments that, as soon as it happens, you go on You go on the internet, go on social media, go on Twitter, you just see it blow up. Everybody's just like, there's nobody who's not happy for Cub. If you don't like Cub Swanson, man, then you're just a bad person, probably. If you don't like Cub Swanson, then you probably like don't like I don't know, like rainbows or something. I don't know. I can't think of anything. But Cub Swanson just like Cub Swanson is the gold at the end of the rainbow, baby. And for him to get a win, save his job or save his time in the UFC at least, in my opinion, a lot of other people's opinions. Super pumped for him. Super duper excited. What's next? Maybe top 15, dude. Cub Swanson. I mean, no, he'll never be a champion. I mean, it's all no disrespect to Cub. It's just like, let's just get him some fights, man. Let's get him in there. He can still contend for, a top fight. Will he ever win that top fight? Soon to be known. He's getting older. Just stay active, man. And we'll get it. Next, we get into and then before this is over, we'll get into the cuts and stuff, signings, stuff like that, garbage like that. Excuse me. But let's just get in the main card, baby. So what you guys paid $70 for. This card probably sold pretty well because of some names on it. This card probably sold pretty well. But we had Ciryl Gane take down JDS. Ciryl Gane, if you guys don't know, this dude is the future at heavyweight. Watch out for this dude. The dude, he told me that dude's a heavyweight. Dude's built. Dude is an animal. He's only 7-0, and his seventh professional fight, he goes out there, he knocks out JDS. I know that there was some confusion about blah blah blah. Was it a legal shot? Was it illegal? I thought it was perfectly legal. I'm glad that that it was the correct call. TKO of JDS. But Ciryl Gane is a dude that you do not want. If you're in the heavyweight division, man, and if you're in that top 15, you're in that top 10, probably like top 8, and you get a call and they say, "Hey, you want to fight Ciryl Gane?" I'm being like, ugh. I'm busy that day, and then we're like, "Hey, it's 2-3 months in advance." Like, yeah, I'm just gonna be busy that day, hopefully, because that's just the point they're at. He just beat number 7, so he moves up. I think Alistair's got a fight coming up, but I think what's got to be next for him is him and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. That's a 5-round main event fight night. That's a banger. You have Francis Ngannou who's got to fight for the belt next. Got to fight for the belt next. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Francis Ngannou is next to fight for the belt. You got Blades versus Derek Lewis. Then you got Reem Volkov. And then after that, you got, after Volkov, he just beat number 7. Ciryl Gane's going to go up to 7. And then you get, 3 and 7 just sitting there. Perfect fight. That's a fight that I see Ciryl Gane just absolutely piecing up. Absolutely just pure, just class. If we're being honest, never been a big fan of Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I don't think he's anything special. I think he's a smaller version, lesser hard-hitting, more wild, more uncontrolled version of Francis Ngannou. I think he's want to be Francis Ngannou, for being honest. And I don't think that he's... No, don't get me wrong. If you're a heavyweight, you've got the power. You can knock me out with any punch. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that, I think that he's just got that punch. He's not really creative. He doesn't he's not the best boxer. He ain't going to take you down. He hits hard, don't get me wrong. But, hey... Don't see him ever, fighting for a title. Don't see him not beating Curtis Blades. Him versus Derek Lewis would be a fun fight. Let's be honest. Did he really beat Alistair Overeem? Knocked him out with 4 seconds left. 4 seconds. After getting pieced up for 24 minutes and 56 seconds. Francis Ngannou pieced him up. Stephen Miocic's absolute cakewalk. Him versus Ciryl Gane's got to be next. That's a fight that I'd love to see. I'm pumped just thinking about it. That's a fight that's got to happen. Next we had one of the more surprising, in my opinion. When the Kevin Holland Jacaré fight started, exactly what we thought was going to happen happened. In all honesty, it starts. Feel it out a little bit. Jacaré takes him down. I'm like, okay. As soon as that happens, me watching it. I didn't watch it live, so I knew the outcome. But I'm like, ugh, like, geez, that went exactly how I thought it was going to go. But then. Excuse me. There's something by Kevin Holland, man, and I don't know how he does it, but he just makes things happen. This I thought was a stylistic nightmare for him. He's going. Sure, he's preparing for Jack Hermanson. They're similar, But I feel like Jacaré is just so much different than him so much different than anybody else on the ground that you can't really prepare for it. And so I thought it was gonna be a stylistic nightmare for Kevin Holland. But he goes out there, gets taken down, whatever. And I still every time I watch it, I still don't understand what it is. Just got punched. He just got knocked out from I'm pretty sure he from what I watched, what I saw, seemed to me like Jacaré was letting him up, and he caught him while he's getting up, smiled it off, and while he's smiling, he just kind of just stopped and just got hit again twice. Kevin Holland's got that much power to knock out Jacaré Souza without using any hips, just straight arms. I mean, sure, he flailed his body a little bit, but that's straight arms, dude. And he knocked Jacaré Souza out. That dude is a problemo. Dude's a problem up there. He was 15. I don't think that excuse me. I don't think that Jacaré was ranked. Was he? No, Jacaré. No. Jacaré was not ranked. Excuse me. So basically, sure, he didn't beat somebody who was ranked, but he beat Jacaré. So Jacaré, no, I mean, there's a lot of people who aren't ranked who, if you beat them, your stock rises. I expect him to go top 10 now. Him versus Derek Brunson, who's number 7 right now, would be a good fight, make a lot of sense. Him versus Jared Cannonier, in my opinion, would make a lot of sense. Paulo Costa is going to fight should fight Marvin Vettori next. Darren Till, Jared Cannonier might be next. Something might be right there. I don't want to see Kevin Holland versus Darren Till yet, just because I feel like they're both so they both sell fights so well that if you match them together right now, it'd be an awesome fight, but I don't think that fight would look good for Kevin Holland. Would be a good look for Kevin Holland, just due to the fact that I feel like Darren Till beats him. And I feel like stopping Kevin Holland's hype train right now would not be the smartest thing they've ever done. What do I know? Nothing. Paulo Costa should fight Vettori next. That's my fight next. No, Robert Whittaker deserves a shot at the belt. Don't care what anybody says. Goes out there. Excuse me. No, Robert Whittaker shows up, goes out there, beats Darren Till, comes back, and then beats Jared Cannonier pretty decisively, in my opinion. Robert Whittaker just beat the 2 top contenders. He is the top contender. You shouldn't have to, if you're a champ and you win 2 fights in a row, you should not have to fight a 3rd time. There's nobody else who's going to fight for the belt in that division. The only other, the next closest person who you can make an assumption to fight for the belt for is Marvin Vettori. And he's number 5, and he beat Jack Hermanson to get there. Not that impressive. Robert Whittaker is the clear-cut number 1 contender in that division, clear-cut number 2 guy in that division. Give the dude a title shot next. If he doesn't get it, then, you're just going to have your best champ sit out for a while. Unless he goes up to 205, then do something. If he goes up to 205, do Robert Whittaker, Marvin Vettori for an interim belt while he does his thing at 205. Wait for him to come back. Winner of the interim belt, you unify the belt, boom, you got a champion. Easy as that. No matter what happens, Izzy's going to win the fight. Whatever. Next, we had Mackenzie Dern. Not going to get into this one that much. Didn't really pay attention. A lot of people hated on Mackenzie Dern. I was one of them. Didn't think she'd be able to get punched in the face. Did not think she'd be that good. Here we are. She beat Virna Jandiroba. Mackenzie Dern's looked good her past couple fights. She's starting to become a top 10 in the division. She's looking good. Happy for her. She's awesome. And here's people's main event before the fight. Not anymore, but before the card started, this was the people's main event. Charles Oliveira, Tony Ferguson was one of those fights where if you guys listen to this show, say this all the time, every time his name gets brought up, I am not a Tony Ferguson fan by any means necessary. I think his whole champ things only, champ stuff only, his whole thing where he does that, that stupid hashtag, puts the same emojis on every post, is so annoying and so aggravating. And I don't think that don't get me wrong. He's one of the greatest lightweights in the world. But is there anybody he beats in the top 5? Is there? No, not anymore. Maybe back then. What Tony Ferguson did for Tony Ferguson to go on a 12-fight win streak and never fight for a undisputed title is almost disrespectful. What he did is absolutely insane. Along that, he beat Gleison Tebow, Josh Thompson, Edson Barboza, Rafael dos Anjos, Kevin Lee, which are all impressive wins. Don't get me wrong; those are impressive wins. He's beaten like these mid-range guys. He's beating these mid-range guys who are always contenders but are never top contenders. Then he goes and fights Anthony Pettis, who, yes, we obviously know is one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest lightweights of all time, but way past his prime. That fight happened on the Conor McGregor Khabib fight card, excuse me. And it was impressive. Anthony Pettis had him rocked. Tony Ferguson looked very viable in that fight. Tony Ferguson does damage to you and gets damage taken to him. Then he goes out there and beats Cowboy Cerrone in 2019. I don't know if you guys know anything, but that's the same Cowboy who everybody said that, that's not a viable win for Conor. He's past his prime. You think he wasn't past his prime 6 months ago? You think Tony Ferguson sent him out of his prime? No. Didn't send him out of his prime at all. Tony Ferguson never beat, in my opinion, the top dog. Tony Ferguson was an interim champ. Don't get me wrong, he should have fought for the title. But he was never the top dog. He beat Kevin Lee for a chance at Khabib. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? That is not what gets you Khabib anymore. Not at all. If I beat Kevin Lee, I've got 3 more fights for a title shot at this point. Sure, it was, how many years ago was that? 3 years ago? But, no, and in no way am I hating on Tony Ferguson and what he did. What he did is insane. For him to even do that and it's disrespectful almost. And it makes me sad for him. But let's be honest here. That Khabib Tony fight happens, whether it happens this past year, 2 years ago, we know it happens at 100 times out of 100. That was scary. We know it happens 100 times out of 100. Tony Ferguson goes out there and loses the fight. He gets mauled. And the thing about Tony Ferguson is everybody was like, okay, his strike. Everybody's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Like, Tony Ferguson's striking is insane. And if he doesn't want to strike with you, he wants to take you down, his ground game's insane. Dude's the king of the Darce choke. Don't get me wrong. Dude's phenomenal. He's got Eddie Bravo in his corner doing his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu work. That's his coach. Eddie Bravo. If Eddie Bravo's your coach, I don't care if you're this tall. You're an animal and probably would make me tap. But Tony Ferguson was always the one to be said, if you want to strike with him, you're done. You go to the ground with him, he'll throw elbows at you, and he'll do anything possible. Tony Ferguson, the one that we saw Saturday and the one that we saw against Justin Gaethje is not any of those things. Not any. Now, don't get me wrong. Dana White said he's doing cuts. He's not cutting Tony Ferguson. No way. Tony Ferguson is not done by any means. He will not quit on himself. Did you see the armbar that Charles Oliveira had on him? Did you see that armbar? I'm surprised that he didn't. Me watching that, it made my stomach hurt. I'm like, dude, his arm was literally straight and 45 degrees outward. His arm was literally 225 degrees probably. That's not healthy. How he didn't tap beats me. Dude is an animal. He's got the heart, but I just don't know if his body's keeping up with him. His past fights, I forget who said it. I saw an interview and somebody said that it just looked like Tony Ferguson didn't really have it. No, it just looked like, he's getting older. Time changes everything. Shout out to Platinum. Time changes everything. And for Tony Ferguson, I think that time is not on his hand. Tom Brady, time's on his hand, kind of. Tony Ferguson's aging hard. All those insane fights he got in are finally taking his toll. And it makes me happy as a Tony Ferguson hater, but, now the stage that he's at, I couldn't tell you what's next for him. I couldn't. Tony Ferguson was 3. He just lost to 7. I guess if you want to put him at 6 in front of RDA because he beat RDA a while ago, that's fine by me. But next for him, it's got to be Paul Felder. That's it. It's got to be Paul Felder or Al Iaquinta. And his comeback, talked to Al last week. Al said he wants to come back early 2021. Is Tony Ferguson going to want to do that in 3 months, 2 months, 4 months? Probably not. Dude needs to take a break. Take a break, bro. Think about some things. I think what's got to happen next is Al Iaquinta versus Tony Ferguson, or Paul Felder versus Tony Ferguson, or if you're feeling really nice, do Tony Ferguson versus Dan Hooker. That's if you're feeling really nice. If you're Dana White and you're like, dude, this dude never got a shot, I feel kind of bad. I'll give him, a fight that, will raise his stock if he beats number 5 dude. But Dan Hooker's going to go out there and piece him up. Dan Hooker's going to hit him with a knee, and he's not going to know what to do. Dan Hooker wins that fight 9 times out of 10 at this stage. You asked me that 5 years ago? No. You asked me that 3 years ago? No. Dan Hooker's getting pieced up 100 times out of 100. This stage in their career, Dan Hooker wins that fight. So what they need to do with what Tony Ferguson needs to do, is just go home and just think like, oh my goodness, like I'm not this impeccable creature anymore. Tony Ferguson was always the number 2 lightweight in the world. No, not at all. Not anymore. Justin Gaethje beats him 10 times out of 10. Dustin Poirier beats him 10 times out of 10. Conor McGregor beats him 10 times out of 10. Dan Hooker beats him 9 times out of 10. I'll give him a break. Tony Ferguson's barely even in the top 5 in the division anymore, man. Time for the dude and Charles Oliveira, he's not top 5 in the division anymore. Charles Oliveira, let's stop talking bad about Tony Ferguson. I'm getting tired of that. Charles Oliveira, dude, where did he come from? Dude's on I think this was his 8th fight in a row with a win. Charles Oliveira came in the UFC at a young age and had a tough time. Saw him fight in Detroit, lost Paul Felder. He didn't have the best time. He's coming into his career right before our eyes. And I don't know what to think about it. It's crazy. Crazy to me, dude. So, the thing about the lightweight division is nobody knows what's going on at the top. Khabib's supposed to talk with Dana White next month in person. Hopefully we can get some answers there. Because, all right, here, I'll give 2 scenarios. This is the first scenario where Khabib stays the champion. You've got Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. The winner of that fight is on a 2-fight winning streak, and in my opinion, should fight for the title next. Should fight Khabib next. The winner of Conor Dustin, if Khabib stays, should fight Khabib. But then you got Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje needs to fight somebody. The question is does he fight Charles Oliveira, or does he fight Michael Chandler, who's wanting to make a statement? In my opinion, they do Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. But the only problem is that leaves Charles Oliveira out. Just out, because you don't know what to do with him. So, because right now we're at an odd number. You've got Poirier, Conor locked in. Tony Ferguson's, get him out of there. Charles Oliveira is top 3 now. And Justin Gaethje's there. And you got Michael Chandler, who nobody knows is going to be good. So, I think if you want to sell the absolute insane amount of fights, you want to sell a card, you put Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler on there. It doesn't get much better than that. That's a phenomenal fight. But I don't know if Justin Gaethje's style, if Michael Chandler's style is going to mix in well with Justin Gaethje. I think that, and just coming into the UFC, I don't think that Chandler beats anybody in this top 5. If we're being honest. I don't even think he beats Tony Ferguson, does not beat Khabib. That is ridiculous. Does not beat Justin Gaethje. Does not beat Dustin Poirier. Does not beat Conor McGregor. Might be Dan Hooker. Does not beat Charles Oliveira. What is gonna happen there? I'm so excited to see Michael Chandler fight because I love Michael Chandler. I want him to prove us wrong and beat everybody in that division except Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. And that's the full honesty. but I just don't know if it's gonna work. I don't think he's gonna be that good. Maybe I'm an idiot. What do I know? I don't know anything. I'm just 18 years old and I don't know anything. But getting back to Charles Oliveira, the dude's coming into his prime. As we watched him go into his prime and nobody noticed it until now. And when he fights Tony Ferguson, everybody's like, ugh. Even me, I'm like, ugh. Charles Oliveira's on a tear. How's Tony Ferguson, gonna react to losing for the first time in however many years? And what we saw proved, 30-26 across the board. What we saw proved that Charles Oliveira is here to stay. And when the title gets talked about at 155, his name needs to be thrown out there. Sure, his style's not the most fun, but the dude can make you tap from anywhere. Didn't tap Tony Ferguson. Okay, give him a break. Give him a break. That dude's not human. That dude was built in a lab. But the dude's, he's solid on the feet. Tony caught him a couple times. But the dude, if you get the dude on the ground, he's the second best in that division. And besides Khabib. And him versus Khabib, if that was to happen in a hypothetical situation, jeez, that's a good fight. Because, people said that Tony Ferguson could catch you from anywhere. Charles Oliveira can catch you from anywhere. The dude on the ground is insane. And at 155, there's so many good things going on. I can't even begin to express it. And I'm so excited to see what this division holds. I wish that Khabib would stop holding it up. I wish that he'd give us a real answer. If Khabib's done, truly done, then Conor versus Dustin is the championship fight. It's the championship fight if he's done. But I think what Khabib wants to do is just not say anything until after that fight's over. So Conor, because we know Conor's going to win. I know Conor's going to win. Anybody in their right mind knows Conor's going to win. No disrespect to Dustin Poirier. Love the guy. Take a bullet for that guy. Second favorite fighter of all time. But he's not going to win that fight. Sure, I could sit here and lie to myself, but he's not going to win that fight. 100%. 100 times out of 100, 1,000 times out of 1,000 times out of 1,000, he's not beating Conor McGregor. No way. Love you, Dustin, but no way. And so I think what he's doing, he just doesn't want Conor to get the belt. I think he wants to make him wait, make him win make him beat Dustin, and then win the belt, just so he can just sit there back and laugh and thinks that Khabib's run the show when Conor runs the show. These kids don't know nothing. If you don't think Conor runs the fight game, you don't know anything. Conor McGregor on one of the worst main cards ever against Donald Cowboy Cerrone sold 1 million pay-per-views. If that doesn't tell you what Conor McGregor is, who he is, what he does for this company, he is the face of the fight game. Nobody in boxing, nobody in combat sports, nobody in mixed martial arts comes near what he does. And the sad part is people are going to sit here and think that Jake Paul, Logan Paul run the show. No, they don't. They're not even in it. They're just there okay, what they do is they're trying to get over in this world for attention. They're trying to get over into our world for YouTube attention. They're not big stars in the boxing world. They're not in the boxing world. They're not boxers. If they're boxers, so am I. So, because I'm a YouTuber, I'll tell you one thing. If this channel ever blows up, excuse me. If this channel ever blows up, I'll never be that person. I will never ever be that person to go out there and just talk about and just try and promote this channel by me just being an absolute idiot. Sure, I do things that makes me an idiot. But for those two brothers to call out Conor McGregor, for the one idiot to fight Floyd Mayweather, they're not a draw in the boxing world. They're a draw in the entertainment world. That's all boxing is anymore. It's turning into the WWE. It's turning into the world boxing entertainment. That's why I love the UFC, man. They don't give in to that garbage. Sure, CM Punk fought. I won't say they're perfect. CM Punk fought in the UFC, never having a professional fight. But UFC maintains their stances. Boxing needs anything. This is the best thing that boxing can do right now, as we speak, is do a Paul brother, because they need people to buy their fights. Mixed martial arts, the UFC doesn't need people to buy their fights. They're rolling in cash. Dana White is probably in Las Vegas right now, taking a bath with, instead of water, he's in $100 bills. He's bathing with $10 million right now. While boxing's over here struggling, they're like, oh my God, can we bring Jake Paul in, please? That dude will get us some money. Dude's fighting Floyd Mayweather. Jeez. I don't even want, like, the fact that that's happening. I listened to Brendan Schaub's take on this. First, no, I do not agree with what he said. He said good for him. And I mean, honestly, it is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't like seeing people succeed. I don't not like seeing people succeed. And I mean, he's getting paid. He knows what he's doing, but it's entertainment. It's not fighting. If you go over there and you think that this is fighting, it's not. You're basically just watching YouTube, man. That's all these people want anymore. They just want to be entertained. No, it's garbage, man. Gets me going. But anyway, speaking of entertainment, let's. I got sidetracked. Speaking of entertainment, my two fights, I thought it was a lock. Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker. My two fight of the years. Weili Zhang was better than Poirier Hooker. Don't get me wrong, but I thought that Zhang, Weili, and those two were the two best. Nope. I'll tell you this. I have not gotten this excited during a fight for a fight that I was like, all right, yes, won't last. I have not gotten this excited for a fight in a long, long time. Now, back in March 7th when Zhang fought Joanna, don't get me wrong, I was out of my seat. I was screaming. I was clapping. No, nothing compared to this. This fight, every punch that lands, I'm trying to sit down. Every time I sit down, another punch lands. I just kept standing back, up and down and up and down. And I'll tell you this, I have not been this excited during a fight in a long, long, long time. And that's no. If you want to get like real, when Jorge Masvidal fought Usman, I was out of my seat the entire time. Conor fought Cowboy, out of my seat the entire time. Definitely, but that's pre-fight. This is mid-fight. Mid-fight, I'm watching a fight, and I'm like, oh my God. How neither of these dudes, how neither of these dudes got knocked down in this fight is absolutely insane. How hard Davison Figueiredo hits is absolutely insane. How hard Brandon Moreno, how durable and how pain acknowledging, I don't even know if that's a word, but how much heart, that's the word, how much heart Brandon Moreno has is insane. How much heart Davison Figueiredo has. The dude said in his post-fight interview, he was in the hospital till 2 a.m. with what, some stomach infection. Dude went out there, went 25 minutes. Sure was a draw, but one judge gave Moreno the 5th round, and that cost Davison the fight. Me personally, I had it. Davison won 1, Moreno won 2, 3rd toss-up, 4th, I gave to Moreno, 5th, I gave to Figgy. That 3rd round was killer, because that 3rd round either made it a close fight or it didn't. And, I think everybody ended up giving it to Figueiredo, but in the moment, I couldn't choose. So many things were happening. I think that was that was the round he got kneed, and just there were so many things going on in that round. I couldn't really pay attention just because I'm so invested in what was happening. But it was. I think Figgy won the 3rd round. I think, in my opinion, it was really close. I think he did. Does not take away from what Brandon Moreno did. I thought that Brandon Moreno was going to win. They both had every single second of that fight. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like one of these dudes is about to win this fight. Because everything that was thrown by Davison was with bad intentions, man. And everything that Brandon Moreno threw was with just like good intentions. No, Brandon Moreno got to work on the accuracy, man. That was his downfall. So many punches, so many head kicks were just missed by that much. I remember there was a head kick, I think it was round 2, that I think it just missed by like that much. And if he would have gotten that just a little bit closer, we'd have a new champ right now. And that's absolutely insane for me to say, because I went into this fight thinking, oh my goodness, like this isn't even a fight. Davison Figueiredo is going to go out there and absolutely embarrass this guy. He's going to finish this guy faster than Alex Perez. Davison even agreed. He said, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat this guy quicker than I beat Alex Perez. And we just had a war in the fight of the year on the last pay-per-view of the year. And for that to happen, just shout out to Brandon Moreno. Shout out to Deiveson Figueiredo for the fight of the year, in my humble opinion. But once again, what do I know? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, but yes, what needs to happen next? They both need time off, man. Jeez. I don't know what was on Moreno's arm, but he needs to, go see a doctor or 7. Deiveson needs to relax. Fought 2 times, defended his belt 2 times in 3 weeks. Sure, this one was a draw. Tough. I mean, it was a draw, but Deiveson won the fight. If they gave him, one card and then the other 2 were draws, I don't care. He won that fight. I think that draws are stupid. I think that is just stupid in general. I kind of thought it was going to be a draw, majority draw to Deiveson. That was my anticipation when the scorecards were about to be read. But what he's at, just take some time, man. But the next fight is definitely a rematch. It's definitely Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno too. Not a doubt in my mind. Who else are you going to put in there? Brandon Royval coming off a loss? No. Brandon Royval coming off a winner against somebody nobody really cares about? No. The only other fight that you could do is Cody Garbrandt versus Deiveson Figueiredo. And that fight is absolutely insane. Who wins that fight? That's a phenomenal matchup. I think that Cody Garbrandt will win that fight. If it's at 135, Cody Garbrandt will win that fight. If it's at 125, I think that Deiveson will win that fight. I love you, Cody. You're one of my favorite fighters of all time, but make sure that fight's at 35 for your own sanctity. But yeah, if that doesn't happen, which I think is kind of a long shot at this point, that the rematch needs to happen next. No ifs, ands, buts about it. When you have a fight of the year like that, and there's nobody else contending, like, Zhang hasn't fought since then either, right? I think. If not, then I'm going to look like a fool. But I don't think she's fought since then. She's got to fight Rose next, but that's just because, there's other contenders there. There's no other contenders at 125. No other contenders. Deiveson took this division and just made it his. Him and Moreno just absolutely just huge their stock. This 125 division almost got taken away from us, and now we've got Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno absolutely taking that division, throwing their backpack on, and walking out the door saying that they run this division, because they do. Deiveson Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno, hats off to you. You guys saved the division. You guys put on one of the best fights of the year. In my opinion, the best fight of the year. And you guys are absolute animals, and thank you for your entertainment. And for the pain, I'm sorry, but thank you. Anyway, and now moving on to the weekend coming up. This weekend is one of the best fight nights I've ever seen. If you look at this card and I told you it was a fight night, you would say, what? Granted, we were supposed to have Leon Edwards versus Khamzat Hype Train Chimaev as the main event, which is not happening anymore, which sucks, but it's okay. That's not happening anymore. But instead, we're just treated to a phenomenal, well-rounded, insane card, which I'm lucky enough to see. Jillian Robertson is opening the card. What? Rick Glenn, Carlton Minus, Jimmy Flick, Corey Durden, Tefan, something, Jamie Pickett, Draco Rodriguez, something, Darren Wynn versus Antonio Arroyo. That's a good fight. Carl Roberson's on this card. The dude's a beast. Sajar Eubanks, awesome. Bilal Muhammad, Diego Lima. Bilal Muhammad, if you don't know, beast. Diego Lima, brother of Douglas, beast. Main card rolls around. Anthony Pettis and Alex Morono. Why that fight is happening, I don't know. Why? UFC, what are you doing? Why? Alex Morono is going to get killed. Anthony Pettis is still not a bad fighter. But if Anthony Pettis does lose this fight by any means, he's probably gone. And then we got Greg Hardy, Marcin Tybura. Marcin Tybura looks good lately. And a win over Greg Hardy would make him a contender, or not a contender, but a dude to watch out for again. And I want to see that at Tybura. I like that guy. I love Greg Hardy too. No, don't yell at me for that. But I actually like Greg Hardy. I think he's a good fighter. Not a good fighter, but I like watching the dude. And he's shown himself too. He's fought in real dudes and he's gotten real wins. It's not like one of those hype train things where he didn't earn it. He got 2 knockouts in Dana White's Contender Series, and then came. Jeez, dude deserves it at that point. Rob Font versus Marlon Moraes. don't know why Marlon Moraes accepted this fight. I think it's like 11-3 or something like that. But, big fan of Rob Font. Big fan of Marlon Moraes. I just don't see Rob Font being able to win this fight. Marlon Moraes is so high level. Coming off a loss, I think he's mad. Don't want to fight a mad Marlon Moraes. The dude is built like, his legs are honestly probably like the size of like my entire body. So if Rob Font gets landed clean, watch out. The fight of the night, the performance of the night is going to go to in this fight. Michelle Pereira, hate that guy. Chaos Williams, 313 represent. What up? Oop, I messed that up. Gotta restart. Michelle Pereira, hate that guy. Chaos Williams, 313 represent. Let's cheer for him, everybody. Yeah. Chaos Williams gonna go out there, and oh my goodness, I hope he just takes Michelle Pereira and just puts him in his own sanctity, makes him stop talking for once. Please, man. Stop talking. Michelle Pereira, if you guys don't know, is a dude who does backflips in the cage, really cocky for no reason, really arrogant, really annoying, and he's stepping in there against Chaos Williams, who's, first 2 UFC fights have a combined time of 57 seconds, and I think he hits a little hard. So if Chaos Williams could go out there, Michelle Pereira is a fan favorite. People like to see him fight. He's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. But if Chaos Williams can go out there and he can knock this dude out in under a minute, if he can just knock the dude out, his stock, Chaos Williams, his stock is going to blast. In 2021, he's a top 15 dude, and he's vying for contenders, vying for top 15 contenders, vying for top 10, stuff like that. The dude is not stopping anywhere. Chaos, this dude, he's definitely going to win this fight, in my opinion, and I think he, once he does win, it's going to be insane. Absolutely insane. He's going to win performance of the night for, I'll go 47-second knockout. And then co-main event, we got Jose Aldo versus Marlon Chito Vera. Chito Vera's back, baby. Chito Vera's back, ladies and gents. Kind of forgot that he beat Sean O'Malley. Was it a fluke? Was it not? Not for me to decide. Excuse me. Regardless if it was a fluke or not, Marlon Vera has a chance this year to really take over. I shouldn't say take over, excuse me. But a chance to really show himself. He was mad at that, I think it was Song Yadong, I think. He was mad at that decision. Granted, I think he won as well. And he goes out there, gets Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley keeps calling him out. Goes out there, stops the hype train. Now he goes out there with the chance to beat Jose Aldo. One of the great shirts at 135, but one of the greatest fighters of all time. No, arguably the greatest 145-pound fighter of all time. Not in my opinion. Max Holloway, Conor McGregor. But for him to be able to go out there against Jose Aldo and potentially beat him would be a huge step up for him and would vie him for, a top dude at 135. 135, you don't know, is honestly probably my favorite division in the UFC. Or probably my second. Lightweight's pretty sick. But, you have Peter Yan. He's fighting Sterling next. That's got to happen. Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Moraes, Cody Garbrandt, Frankie Edgar, Pedro Munoz, Jose Aldo, Jimmy Rivera, Rafael Sunsao, Dominic Cruz is ranked number 10. Rob Font, Ron Wallace-Shiley, Cody Stamen, Michigan Proud, Song Yadong, Chito Vera. Dude, every dude in that division is an absolute killer. And every dude in that division could vie for a title shot with a win. This division is so insanely stacked that I don't know what's going to happen next. And don't forget, in a month and 5 days, we've got the return of the second greatest 135-pounder of all time who looks absolutely yoked ahead of his return. We got TJ the Snake Dillashaw coming back in a month and 5 days. Now, I'm not saying that's when he's going to fight next. But he's eligible to come back, and he wants to be back. He's going to come back, and he's going to be a dog when he comes back. Absolute animal. I'm so excited for him to be back. What's going to happen with 135? Sterling Young got a fight. Sterling deserves a shot. Do Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. and the winner of that can fight for the title next. That's what needs to happen. That needs to happen next because Corey Sandhagen's coming off a win, surprising win over Marlon Moraes after getting absolutely pieced by Sterling in, 48 seconds like that? So if Sandhagen can beat Moraes and then the returning Dillashaw, give him a title shot. TJ Dillashaw was the champ, messed up. He messed up. He should not be able to get a title shot off rip. He messed up. He knows he messed up. If you mess up like that, you need to wait in line like the rest of them, buddy. Give him Corey Sandhagen, who should fight, who has a reason to fight for a title next. No, if Sandhagen wins his next, whoever he fight, if it is Dillashaw, if it's not, if he wins the next fight, he's fighting for a title, 100%. TJ Dillashaw needs to win one fight to prove he's still there 2 years later, to prove that he's still one of the best in the world. And I think that the fight that matches up best against him, Corey Sandhagen. That's a potential, certified banger. That's a fight night main event, and it does not get much better than that. And then Jose Aldo's 7. He's fighting Cheeto Vera, who's 15. You got Rob Font, 11, fighting Moraes, who's 3. There's so much movement at this division. Is Cody Garbrandt, going to be a 135er? Is he going to be a 125er? Is Frankie Edgar alive at 135? Pedro Munoz. Jimmy Rivera's there. Dominic Cruz is fighting Casey Kenny. Why? In March? Why? But whatever. Jeez, there's so many things happening. In the main event, Stephen Thompson versus Jeff Neal. Very intriguing matchup here. The thing about it, though, is I think that Stephen Thompson is just so well-rounded at striking that I don't think that Jeff Neal, at the stage of his career, is going to be able to handle it. Was Jeff Neal's last fight Mike Perry? Was it? Hang on. Yes. Jeff Neal's last two fights, was Nico Price and Mike Perry. Now, don't get me wrong. Knockout wins are nice. But when you knock somebody out when you knock two dudes out who just brawl, and when you beat Mike Perry and then you get thrown Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, yikes, man. Yikes. I think that Stephen Thompson is just levels above him, and I think that Jeff Neal's not going to be able to know what to do when he can't hit him. Stephen Thompson's not going to get hit. Jeff Neal's, he's going to go for the kill shot. Why did I say that like that? Jeff Neal's going to go for the kill shot, and I don't think that Stephen Thompson's too smart. His fight IQ, his striking IQ is way too high for him to get caught by a Jeff Neal punch. Stephen Thompson's going to mop the floor. I say Stephen Thompson finishes him late second, early third, or just takes him to a decision and wins 50-44. For being honest here, that's either late first round, late second round, or absolute destroying decision is what's gonna happen. That's about it. Just getting into some random things real quick. UFC's doing cuts, blah blah blah. Things happen, whatever. One of the dudes they cut, Yoel Romero, officially signed with Bellator Fighting Championships today. This is Andy's fighting at 205, which is awesome because I don't want to see him fight at 185 anymore. Dude barely ever even makes weight. That's why I got cut, loser. But dude's fighting at 205. And if you don't know, Bellator's 205-pound division is now absolutely stacked. It is better than the UFC's light heavyweight division, and I will say that with full honesty in full effect. Let me just pull it up. If I can type. There we go. Oh, that did not say Bellator. That said, geez, I spelled that so wrong. Why is this computer like this, man? Jeez, why won't this? Jeez. So unprofessional by me, man. So unprofessional. Jeez. All right, so right now, the champ is Vadim Nemkov, and if I remember correctly, Vadim Nemkov is currently, unless I'm thinking differently, is currently not fighting because he. Or wait, no. Or no, I was thinking somebody else. Okay, no. Vadim Nemkov just beat Ryan Bader. Okay, let's just put it that way. He just beat Ryan Bader 113 days ago. And for him to beat Ryan Bader, you know he's good. You know he's an absolute beast. And, excuse me. And then Ryan Bader. So you have Ryan Bader, who's a beast. You have Vadim Nemkov, who's a beast. You just signed Corey Anderson. He just fought. He's not good. Then you signed Anthony Rumble Johnson, who is an absolute animal. And then you go out and sign Yoel Romero. Oh my God. What in the world is happening in the world? Bellator's light heavyweight division is stacked. I would pay pay-per-view money to see Yoel Romero fight. Yoel Romero fight Anthony Johnson. And Corey Anderson was like, I'm going to go to Bellator, get an easy belt. And then he gets there, and now he's got Ryan Bader and Yoel Romero to worry about. And he beats neither of them at all. Not even close. Not even close. Jan Blachowicz sat Corey Anderson down, embarrassed him, made him look like he was a child. No way, not a single chance that Corey Anderson gets near Rumble Johnson. Not a chance he gets near Yoel Romero. What's he going to do? Take Yoel Romero down? No. What's he going to do? Knock him out? No. What's he going to do? Strike with him? No. Jeez. Yeah, that division's fun. I'm actually excited for that. Haven't been that like it. Hopefully, what I don't want to happen is I don't want the people who leave the UFC get cut from the UFC. Don't want to be there anymore. What I don't want to happen is they just all go to Bellator, because I like what Scott Coker said about Bellator, and said that he wants to build around his main dudes, his young core that they're creating. You know, they got Patricio Pitbull. Could he beat Volkanovski? Yeah. Yeah, Darian Caldwell, lost, but whatever. AJ McKee is looking insane. Jeez. James Gallagher. Alima Lane McFarland, sure she lost, but she's awesome. Who else? Ryan Bader, he's not really young. Chris Cyborg. Douglas Lima. Gegard Mousasi. They got some stuff going. In a bantamweight, you got Juan Archuleta. They got some stuff going, man. Some stuff going. Bellator's got some stuff going, man. I don't know. I'm sure, like, it's awesome. Super excited for everything that they have going right now for them. UFC's looking good. Bellator's looking phenomenal. But yeah, this is a long episode. Jeez, my throat hurts. But this is a long episode. I feel like I covered a lot, actually. But hopefully you guys liked this episode, liked hearing me talk. Probably towards the end, you could probably hear the raspiness in my voice because I can't really talk. But here we stand. Anyway. Excuse me. So, that's all the time I got for today. It's all I got. Hopefully you guys liked this episode. You guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the fights this past weekend. It's impossible if you did. If you watch the fights, it's impossible to not like that fight. Jeez, it's not impossible. It's not possible to not like the fights this past weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights this coming weekend. Stacked fight night card. That's how you close a weird year out, UFC. Shout out to the UFC for making things happen. Closing the year out on top with a phenomenal card. Doesn't get much better than that. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Everybody be nice to each other. It's another thing. I say this every week. Just be a good person. Be a good person. And everything will be okay in the world. Just be a good person. Yeah. That's all the time we got, ladies and gents. Hopefully you guys liked this episode. I said that like 7 times. Jeez. And we'll see you next week. Got some things lined up for tomorrow. Working on something fun for this week. Not really sure when, but working on something fun for the week. Got something lined up for tomorrow. Has to deal with music. That's all I got to say. You guys will see you tomorrow. And, yeah. I'll see you guys. If you guys want to watch, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. If not, see you guys next week on the Underground MMA Show. We out.